Hey, welcome to Today Dreamer, a podcast and YouTube channel where we explore the interplay between inner and outer work, and we look at what cultivating the practice of presence within our lives feels and looks like once we clear the mind and open the heart. So, this is just a short clip from a full podcast episode, which I'll leave a link to around here somewhere. If you'd like to check out the whole catalogue of episodes along with guided meditations and what I have on offer, please head over to todaydreamer.com and have a peek.
When we respond as an integrated being, we can be very effective. Like if all of me is moving together, I can be, again, without inhibition or without barrier, right? But to get to that state, we need to know our whole self. So there's it's ancient. We know it is coming from the Greeks of know thyself. There's a kind of meditation element to this. So, when we are thinking about what sort of exercises would prepare a person to notice what they are feeling, right? When I think about meditation, um, I think of it as a practice which, a lot of people will uh, talk about it in the sense of stopping thinking, right? To have the monkey mind, the commentary that's going on and on, to just stop. But to me, trying to stop something is that's only part of it. It's what you start that is also important. And in effect, it's not so much that the emphasis here is to stop thinking, although that can be very helpful. It is to really get aware of what I'm feeling. So if I'm in a meditation practice, I'm whether it be a walking meditation or a sitting one, or eyes open or eyes closed, I might have a thought, and I might have the exercise of putting the thought up on a shelf or putting it on a leaf and letting it float away in the water. There's all sorts of visualization exercises a person can do. But the element here is um, to descend into the state of an awareness of the totality of self. It's like a complete awareness of everything that you're feeling. And, at first it might be, oh, I didn't know I had a pain in that particular toe, or it might be, oh my God, I itch everywhere. And there could be any number of distractions that come up. But the idea here is that, over time, you'll begin to become more and more aware of all of the things that you're feeling in that moment. You'll become attuned to your own sensory capacities, your own sensory state. And the more that you can become discerning about that sensory capacity and that sensory state at all levels, I could say emotional, but we're really talking about feelings. We're talking about, not just physical proprioceptive, sensations in one bodies, but essentially the sensation of what it is to be you within the totality of your own conscious being. Everything that we experience in life is going to have an effect on us. Every person that we hang out with, how I am with my parents is going to be different than how I am with my friends or with my boss. So we each influence one another's feeling state. Everybody, the plants that are around you that I can see in your thing influence you. They change the shape of how the space that you're in feels.
Hmm.
The color of the walls, the items that you pick and choose to put on your shelves, every little thing is going to affect the way in which the room feels and the way in which the room affects you as a person in it. So when we become more aware of our natural feeling state and we come into different spaces, we can begin to notice how those spaces affect us. We can begin to notice how different people affect us. And that gives us a much more fine-tuned awareness to begin the process of imagination and intellect integration.
Yeah.
So in effect, it's on one hand, we're becoming more aware of our feelings so that we can become more aware of what feelings are changing. And then we can notice the changes.
Yeah.
And so there's a baseline awareness, and there's all sorts of exercises about this, going on walkabout, for example, and experiencing a very wide variety of things and taking nothing with you, and essentially being in a place that you've never been and don't know, and then changing those rapidly, that we can begin to see what is our natural repose despite all the world around us changing. We randomize the world so that we can find the consistency, which is ourselves. And we therefore now know what is ours and what is not ours, what is ourself and what is other. And in that capacity, so again, these are all different sort of flavors of what is meant by meditation or practices that would be generative of this. And then you even notice, for example, that as I was describing earlier, that in order to let the thoughts go, I might imagine a visualized scenario of putting my thought on a leaf and letting it float away down the stream, right? So I have to imagine a water flow. I have to imagine that there are leaves and my thoughts can be made into little crystals or something and put on those leaves and off they go, right? So in effect, the idea here is that not only is it the case that I become more aware of my feeling, but I'm also starting to explore and to develop the capacity for imagination. So that would be the next piece, right? So, there's physical exercises to improve one's health so that one can respond as a whole being. There's the sensory, become aware of one's feelings as much as one is already aware of one's thinking, right? Most thinkings are easier. Thinking is an object, but feeling has to do with a subject. It's not a thing. We don't have very many words that are very good at holding feelings. I mean, there's a whole range of them, but if you've ever tried to write down a dream, the nuances of the dream that you have when you wake up and what you can write down on a piece of paper, very different things. And so, in a sense, there's this becoming more conscious of one's feelings, and then there is the increase in the variety and flexibility, and literally just the nuance of capacity in one's imagination.
Mm-hmm.
If I can't imagine a solution to a problem, then it's not that the problem is insolvable. It's that I might actually just lack the skill of imagining a solution, right?
Mm.
And so, we want to develop good flexibility of the imagination. So now we have a physical component, health component, so to speak, a feeling component, and an imagination component. Obviously,
I'd like to go a little bit deeper if you're someone that may be going through a bit of a transitionary period in life and you'd like some support through that process. Head over to todaydreamer.com to see what I have on offer. If you're interested in learning to meditate or deepening your practice of meditation, or even just developing a consistent practice and you would like some support in that process, head over to todaydreamer.com and register your interest, because I'll be putting out something very shortly to help you guys out with that. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe and click the little notification bell so you don't miss any of the good stuff to come. Thank you again, and I will catch you in the next episode. Be well.